What's up, guys? Fat Samurai Guy here with fellow critics, Lady Fat Blood, and the Cranky Critic. That's right. We're here to talk about the Jurassic Park trilogy. We're getting it set up for the Jurassic Park 4 coming out.
Jurassic
14
World.
years.
I'm sorry, Jurassic World.
14 years. Since
14 years later, we're going to have a new Jurassic Park movie. Is that why you're cranky, Mr. Critic?
I have my opinions on the new film now, but
Okay.
we'll wait and see once
All
it
right,
comes
and
out.
then we'll do a review
That's
after
right.
that. All right, so we're just going to take a trip back in time, okay? Back to 1993. Okay, it was when the first Jurassic Park movie came out, directed by the great Steven Spielberg. You want to give us a quick movie plot synopsis?
I'll try to keep it short.
For the younglings out there that don't
Those
know.
kids who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jurassic Park starts off with a billionaire who's creating a theme park made from dinosaurs. He's been able to recreate dinosaurs from excavating DNA through mosquitoes that have been encased in amber over time.
That they took from dinosaurs.
That's right. And so what he does is through genetics, he creates a living dinosaur using the extinct DNA. And what they end up doing is creating a theme park where they have dinosaurs. At the beginning of the film, a dinosaur is being placed into its cage, namely a velociraptor, and it kills one of the coworkers there at the park. Through the world of lawyers and litigation, then of course insurance companies want to find out and investigate if the stability of the operation of the island and the theme park itself is viable and to maintain operation and continue. So you have two sides. You have a lawyer who brings in people that will support his cause, namely Malcolm, and that's all he brings, right?
Yeah,
and then the billionaire, who is John Hammond, the owner of the park, brings in paleontologist Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. That's
Played
correct.
by Sam Neill and Laura
Laura
Dern.
Dern, correct. Relatively somewhat new faces during that time. Not
For us at least.
correct. Yeah.
Mainstream.
They've been out there in other films, but of course, to hit a big film like this in the Spielberg name, this was kind of their thrust to popularity. And then, of course, so what happens is they go to the theme park, and it's kind of a surprise to most of the guests. They shield the dinosaurs.
Right.
They don't let them know that they're going to go see dinosaurs. And then, of course, through the operation, there's a behind-the-scenes villain, if you want to call it, that's going trying to steal some of the embryos and create a lot of money and put into his pocket so that, because he's not too happy with how his job is going,
Right,
and therefore he wants to make some quick cash and give the embryos to another competing company. And then, of course, all hell breaks loose when a storm shows up, and then
Awesome hell breaking loose.
and then again, Spielberg does what he does
By the
best,
way.
which I think he started with Jaws, with the beginning of the summer blockbuster. And so Spielberg did what he did best, being able to take these monsters and give them life and bring them to the screen that nobody had ever seen before. We could probably talk a little bit about the end of stop motion photography, is what this film did. And the creation of CGI animals in daylight to be able to make them look believable and realistic. And that film really struck with audiences in a way that we had never seen dinosaurs before.
Yeah, that was great. So just take a look at CGI maybe the year before,
Wow.
or maybe the year before, or the 2 years before. Wow, there's a huge jump.
And of course, it wasn't
what the heck
live
happened?
creatures.
Yeah, like we're working on it, and it's looking okay. And then all of a sudden, right in 1993, when JP comes out, it's like, hello!
Well, you essentially, what did you have? You had the T-1000.
You had Terminator 2,
You had the Abyss creature.
and the creature from the
But
Abyss.
aside from that, in terms of creatures,
Yeah.
like you said, it was primarily stop motion.
Very
that had been
early,
the way to go. And they
yeah.
were originally doing test footage with stop motion, which was very odd. But
Yeah.
And all
It
CG
was
at that
interesting.
time, was basically non-living elements. That's why there was a liquid Terminator. Why was he liquid? It was because we can make it look like liquid metal that is
Right.
easy for the computer to do.
Right.
But of course, it wasn't a live person standing there. The live person was actually an actor. It wasn't a CG character.
Right.
And to be able to create an animal that was able to walk like an animal and look like something photorealistic.
And like you said, and shot in the daytime, it can
Correct.
still be convincing
And that's
as
it.
well as night.
Because daytime's much harder to do than it is
and
and with the night shots.
All you got to do, if you want to look at the unfortunate alternative, is watch the film Alien 3, which came out, unfortunately, a year just before Jurassic Park had come out. And I will defend that movie. I don't care. I defend the film.
I defend it as well.
I defend the film. I understand the hate, but I feel that there is more good in there, more good intentions. I know even the director went and, he doesn't have anything to do with it, but that's the technology, that's the alternative that we were looking at back then, which was very unfortunate.
So when you look at Alien 3's visual effects, that's what, look from that and then look for, what was it, a year? You said a year later?
The very next
The
year.
very next year, and look at Jurassic Park is like, hello!
And of course, with Phil Tippett being involved in the story, and
Yes.
and his just watching the story being made and the technology coming out, it's like, you just put me out of a job. I remember an interview with him saying that, and
The extinct
wow.
line, the extinct line
Exactly.
in the film could be basically his line right there. I think we're extinct.
exactly,
Oh, wow.
and the fact of technology changes, and we have movies we have today.
Right.
I mean, where
For
is
better or
Jurassic?
for worse.
Where's Jurassic World going to show a 15-year increase since the last film of Jurassic franchise? But on top of that, more than 20 years of technology increase since the original Jurassic Park. And then we'll see where that goes with the audience today, if they still want to see live dinosaurs or they want to see robots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
we'll find out. We will find out. But before we actually give our review of the film and talk about the reactions of it, we're going to talk about before we even saw the movie. Okay, now with our experiences. Okay, so I remember, I remember seeing a teaser. I don't remember seeing a lot at all of the movie on TV before the movie hit theaters. In my experience, I remember seeing it was really dark. It was a teaser, and the Jeep went by, and there was a T-Rex went by, but you can't really see the T-Rex. It was literally 2 seconds of just, and it's a Jurassic Park, and I said, "What the heck is that?" And I didn't really see a lot. So going into the movie, I was just really blown away. I was like, "Oh my God!" I don't know if you guys had similar experience before seeing the film.
I was Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler. I somehow back in 1993, I never saw anything.
Okay.
I had never heard of Jurassic Park until one day.
So you didn't even see the little tiny teaser that I'm talking about.
Somehow, for being the couch potato that I was, I never once saw anything. I never heard the title of Jurassic Park. I didn't know there was a movie called Jurassic Park. I didn't know anything about it. All I know is that one day we had an awkward situation going on at my house, and my mom was like, "Hey, let's go see a movie." And I'm like,
"Wow,
what
hey,
movie?
Let's go see a movie."
Exactly.
Holy.
And because the situation at my house was so awkward, I was in such a foul mood at the ripe young age of 12 years old. Yes, I just dated myself. And I was like, why the hell? In my head, I'm thinking, why the hell do I want to go see a movie about dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
2 hours later in the theater, I forgot all about the crappy situation at my house. Before I know it, you and I were the
Couldn't stop
most
seeing the movie.
obsessive freaks. That's all I remember. It's just obsession. It was an obsession. The soundtrack was an obsession. We had cassettes.
Cassettes.
If any of you remember
Do you remember
tapes.
cassette tapes?
Audio cassette
And then
tapes.
Walkman, that you would put the cassette tape into the Walkman.
And you have to rewind to listen to the song
It's-
again.
yeah,
Get out.
You had to flip the tape over.
What?
and put
Listen
it
to the
back
song on the opposite side of the
What?
tape.
Don't leave it in the hot sun in your car. Remember, don't do that. But yeah, obsession.
Did you see anything? Or did you know about it before you saw the film?
I kind of don't remember a lot of pre-production. I do remember that in the world of movie making, and with speaking Spielberg and John Williams, my favorite film being Jaws, and that kind of drew me into the story and the movie. I have to give credit to that. I think again, where the composer of a film just really brings out the nature of the story, where there's only 9 minutes total of CGI activity in that entire film, and it's a 2-hour film. It's just under 2 hours.
Oh, we can't
Right.
dismiss the practical effects of this film.
Yes.
Don't even brush over the CG, but Stan Winston,
The late Stan Winston.
the amazing Stan
Amazing.
The
Winston.
great.
Yes.
We bow to thee, sir.
The only thing
Blended.
good about Jurassic Park 3, Stan Winston.
We're going to get to that in a second.
Blending it seamlessly, essentially, but good enough for 1993. The practical effects. I mean, the Triceratops. That was a full-sized.
Full-size T-Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, many people have challenges with the film because, of course, you read the book, and the book was so much more grand. To take a movie like this and shrink it down into something that's budgetary and conscious, be able to not do everything that a piece of paper can do.
And embarking with new technology,
Exactly.
untested technology.
The story of Jurassic Park has extended because...
Michael Crichton, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because the movie could only do so much, and then, of course, Spielberg brings in his little twists, which he's done in many of his films, and being a thematic director that he is.
Completely different ending.
Exactly.
And
that seems to be consistent with a lot of the stories that he does when they come from book form. But in the world of the franchise of Jurassic Park, where the ride in the theme parks was able to create another element that the movies didn't show, and then of course when we go into the Lost World, it was able to create story of in the setting of Lost World, but it just really did everything that the first book had never completed. So they were kind of being able to take these ideas and formulate other stories and other things onto them and create an entire franchise, whether it be practical or whether it be storytelling. And it became something really big. And of course, dinosaurs are always exciting for kids to see. And then it hits a lot of people.
So we got a great story. We had a great early CGI effects that some of it in that movie really holds up today. Great fun characters. I think we can all agree. Mr. Jeff Goldblum stole the film. You gonna do a Jeff Goldblum first? Jeff Goldblum. All right. Oh, enough of that. Sorry. I apologize. Okay, for my Jeff Goldblum impression.
I think, to interrupt you once again, I think that seeing the film 20 years later when the film re-released in theaters for 3D, it started to show a small bit of dating of 90s cheese.
Okay.
There's still that pre-September 11th cheese that you had in films.
Right.
That just because audiences went more for a fun experience, look at the Batmans and look at where those things went.
Don't look at the Batmans.
But exactly where it was more campy fun. And seeing the movie now in 2015 compared to 1993, it holds up extremely well as a story. It's got some 90s camp in it. You get the old computers in it. Even a little Easter egg I just noticed just this week was that there's a shot of Dennis Nedry's watching Jaws on his screen.
Oh, wow.
Check it out.
Nice.
When he's eating a candy, that's thanks, Dad.
Nice.
Look, he's watching Jaws on the screen.
Don't forget about a little small role for Samuel Jackson. You know,
He's in every movie.
That's right.
Hold on to your butts.
So he's a brother in the movie, so you know what happens to him. Well, anyway. All right. Oh, we're running out of time. All right.
Okay.
So
next movie.
Any negatives, real quick? Any negatives, or that was pretty much
I
it?
think nitpicking on the film is extremely heavy through the editing process. I have torn that movie up, and down a new one every single time. But otherwise, as an edited storytelling piece, would I give it 4 stars? Maybe 3.5. But it's a very strong movie. It's an enjoyable film. You're going to get
3.5 out of 5 or out of 4?
Out of 4. That would be me. But
right.
out of 5, I would say easily 4 or 4.5.
Okay.
But even to watch as I grew up and my kids grew up, and every time we'd watch the movie and my 12-year-old son would walk out of the room when that T-Rex scene came on, it just, to have a sound system, to have that scene edited perfectly, the flow, the feelings, the emotions that you get from watching that still resonates today, and nothing can beat it, not even the Spinosaurus of Part 3.
Which we'll get to. It's nostalgia for me, but I just remember being in that theater just like wow for that time, and I still enjoy the film. It's still one of the best Spielberg's done.
How many times did you see it in theaters?
I'm pretty sure not as much as you. For the people at home,
I think
do you remember the number?
I think I hit 5.
5?
We were from 5 to 6.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I
went
thought
to
we
Grandpa's
were
theater,
like
at
15.
one point.
Exactly.
We did go see it. at
But see,
Grandpa's
how
theater.
old were we? I was what? You were 12, so I was probably around 15,
Yeah.
16. I can't even remember, but
So you
I
would've
thought it was a
been
lot
15.
more.
yeah, but
I think he's being
we
polite.
didn't have a cash flow
Right,
at
exactly.
that time.
Exactly.
That allowance. Allowance.
That's right.
Right.
All right. Anyway, to buy those cassettes for the Walkman.
I was going into CDs by then.
Anyway. So 4
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5. Ninja stars for me.
4.5.
All right, there you go. Jurassic Park, a classic, and now it's time to visit the Lost World.